At the college, we are still trying to set up a conservation technology hub, and people come and they want to give you solutions, and they make promises about those solutions. What do they get? What is this thing going to do? This thing is going to solve everything. It's going to sort out all your problems. Going to be no more poaching. You're going to know where your rhinos are. You're going to know what your staff are doing. And then when you actually try it on the ground, it doesn't work that way. Either because it hasn't been maybe tested in the field, or it's been in a different context, or for some reason it doesn't do what it says on the box. So we spend a lot of time trying things to see how they might work, and then we get a lot of questions as well. A lot of people phoning, either asking us to test things or asking for advice. We want to buy camera traps. Which one should we buy? And obviously that really depends on your context and your budget and what are the questions you want to ask. So we're trying to create a place, a secure place, where people working to combat wildlife crime, however loosely, whether it's monitoring animals, whether it's anti-poaching, whatever it might be, can share their experiences of the tools that they use. And I'll show you now, but I'm talking about tangible tools, equipment and tech, but also intangible tools, training, SOPs, job descriptions, anything that is useful, that you have found useful, or that you have found not useful, and you don't want other people to fall in the same trap. Don't. Talking too long. So the toolbox is in the form of a website. We've tried to keep it really simple. You'll see if you do log into the website, you'll see that it was created by ecologists and conservation tech people, not by marketing people or website designers. So it's a bit clunky at the moment. But we're looking at a rebuild. Well, we're starting a rebuild to make it shinier and more user-friendly. But we're following a kind of Amazon or online shopping format. So you see you've got star ratings there, an average star rating of how people have found that particular tool. Then you've got a price range. You can imagine that the prices vary. If you're Peace Parks Foundation buying cameras directly from China in the hundreds, it's going to be different. And then if you're a small reserve buying a few off the shelf. But so just as a quick look, you can see whether it might fit in your budget and whether people are rating whatever it is highly or not. So we've split the information into 6 different categories or domains. Some of them are obviously self-explanatory, technology and equipment, and then infrastructure. So that's any kind of discrete group of things. So it might be a command and control center, or it might be a canine unit, or it might be a helipad or a hangar, any kind of grouping of things together. Human resources, we're finding in the rapidly changing field of particularly tech, but also anti-poaching, there's new jobs, data analysts. People want to know what should that job description entail, or radio engineers, or whatever it might be. People want to know what are we looking for in that person, what works and what doesn't. Education, training and development, obviously you want to send people to learn to be a radio engineer, for instance. Where do you send them, and is that course any good or not? Processes and procedures, here we're looking for things like SOPs. It doesn't make sense to reinvent the wheel every time. If somebody's got an SOP that's tried and tested over the last 15 years, use that and adapt it to your context. And then case studies. So we're talking to people all over Southern Africa and further afield using the same tools but in different contexts. So then we can pull together the case studies so that if you're looking at a new instance of it, you can see what context might fit your situation. So this is what the page looks like. This is technology and equipment. You can see the little green square at the top, and then you've got the list on the left-hand side of everything that's reviewed at the moment, and then you click on it. So what we're looking at is specifics. I don't really want to know about camera traps in general. You can look on YouTube. There's a ton of videos about how to use camera traps. I want to know which camera traps you've used and why you like them or why you don't like them. So you can click on one of those, and then you get to a specific kind of a camera, and then you'll see the star rating that it's got, what it cost, whoever's reviewed it. Then you can see the person that's reviewed it. It's quite a small community of practice, so if you know that person, you can pick up the phone, or if you don't like that person, you can ignore what they've said. And then this is what I think is the value add. We've got a standardized set of questions that we ask everybody, which is, what do you like, what do you don't like, and then what are the lessons that you've learned trying to implement this particular tool in the field. And what else do you need to go with it? So, what we keep hearing is people are spending a ton of money on sexy tech, but haven't got the budget for people to maintain it or for the parts for maintenance. So then I think Sean can tell you then really expensive radios get stuck in boxes under a desk because there's no budget for the batteries or there isn't the right person to fix some fairly simple solution. So those are the kind of really painful lessons that we're trying to capture here so that other people don't have to fall in that same trap. And then the list of other things that you need to go with it. So Eric talking about his cameras yesterday and the different power solutions in different places. So putting that all together in one place, and then you can see on the right-hand side, the reviewer, you can look at how many times that person has implemented that particular thing, for how many years they've been in that industry. So you've got some measure of how you want to rate their review. We are making this, there is no providers are allowed to review their own products. So me from the Wildlife College cannot review any of my own courses because obviously I'm going to say they're awesome. They are awesome, by the way. But no, they are. So it's only for people who are using these things. We will, phase 2, we'll have a mirror site, I think, or we will have an associated site where providers can list their tools and can ask people to test them and ask people to review them. But this is really neutral. It's really for people who have used it to share their experiences, so that if you want to use it, you're not being sold it by a salesperson. You can see EarthRanger's been reviewed. You can see the drop-down menu of the number of the people who have reviewed it, and you can choose whose opinion you might want to trust most, or you can read all of them if you've got that much time. Because it is a secure website, so you need user details to log in, and then you create your profile. So as you're going through the site, you can click on that little Add to Toolbox, and it will save whatever it is for you, so you can come back to it later, because we're hoping that there will be a lot of stuff on there, and you don't want to lose it when you found something that you think is of interest. Because some of the information is sensitive, it is access restricted. It's not just open to the general public. We've got 3 different levels of user. So the lowest level, you can see, the boots and the things that everybody kind of knows about anyway. And then at the highest level is maybe some of the SOPs and some of the more sensitive stuff that if it's out there could actually damage operations and functions. Users at the moment are added by referral, so and through me. It's a bit of a clunky process, but we're looking at smoothing that out as we grow. Yeah, and when you give a review, it's up to you. The users rate how sensitive the information is or not, and we don't change that. It's really up to the reviewer. It's their words, it's their opinion. So we started doing this last year. I spoke to some people here at the EarthRanger conference last year. We got to proof of concept, so we've got about 200 reviews and over 60 different reviewers on the site so far. And from that, we've got more funding to take us into the next year. And so what we want to do is try and scale up. We really, everybody at this conference has got information that they can share. So this is really what we're trying to do now. The way forward. Obviously, like I said, the site is a little bit clunky. It's a bit slow. It wasn't built by shiny web developers, so we're rebuilding it. It is a bit inefficient at the moment because it all has to come through me. But so that functionality is going to improve before the end of this year. And what we're looking for is more content. Partly we can help generate, so case studies. What happens is I go talk to people and say, wow, this is so cool. Have you written this up? And they go, oh, well, yeah, no, So one of the roles that we can play is actually to assist in writing up those case studies. And what we will also be doing is profiling people who join the site, exciting reviews on the site, new equipment as it becomes useful, so you can kind of see what's happening. And try and build real community of practice in a place where you can share personal experiences. So, in a nutshell, that's why I'm here. I really want all of you to please ask for login details, have a look at the site. Hopefully, if you find that it's useful, contribute your own experiences. There is a standardized survey, or I can put you in touch with our team who can get in touch and interview, so you don't have to sit and type. You can actually just talk it, and we'll capture it for you. That's how you get in touch with me, or talk to me while I'm here. and tell other people about it, please. That's it. That's it for now. I was going to try and do a live demo, but it's slow, and I've learned from everybody else's live demos, don't do it live. Okay, thanks.
In part of your roadmap, are you considering adding in a place where you can consolidate things like user manuals or other tips and tricks about a product? I've spent far too much of my life trying to hunt down RTSP stream addresses and things that vendors seem to love to hide, and it would be great to expose that knowledge in a place that I know other people can take advantage of it.
Yeah, so particularly in the case study section, policy and procedure section, there's a lot of space for uploading documents or other useful information. And we will be having a place where you can call out for stuff, you know, I can't find it on the site, has anybody got or used or interest in something? So yeah, there is space for that.
How will you deal with the sensitivities of conservation organisations developing tools that are still in R&D? Because obviously there's, you know, a huge amount of effort and passion involved in those projects. Tools, especially wildlife tracking, for example. What's your approach to that?
So if the organisation is a developer, then they class as a provider, so they can't review their own tool. But the second phase, before the middle of next year, hopefully, will be a place where, as new things are coming up, it can be profiled, it can be put up there, and you can link then with other people who might want to try it and use it, and then they can review it, but not the people developing it.
One question that I have, are you also thinking about having it also in other languages? Because, you know, for DRC, it would be super useful, but we are very restricted in terms of English. So are you also thinking for the second phase to have it in other languages and accessible to a much broader public?
Yes, I don't know when. It is on the list of things we want to do. Yeah. And also to link up with different forums. I was talking with the Game Ranger Association and international federations of games. There's so many Game Ranger things, but to try and get it out on those different platforms. So we have plans to link up with as many, you know, we're better together, as one of the taglines was saying earlier, as many different ways to link it up and get it out. We just want to be a little bit careful though, because it does need to be restricted. So we can't just put it out on Facebook and Instagram for everybody. So that's something we're still working on, how to kind of keep it secure, but publicize it and get it used as widely as possible. So at the moment, for the low security, we don't, but it's quite small. It's like 60 users, so at the moment, it's everybody that I've met. For the high security, we have a steering committee, and we're looking at kind of a way of having maybe a dual referral system. So who do you know, who knows who, and do they get a thumbs up or not? Mike?
So given that I worked on NGO and our procurement systems are low and slow, is there an option to sort of have a comparison or quotes of 3 different devices or something like that when you put it into that? I saw that you put it into a toolbox. It's like a shopping cart that you can show.
Not at the moment, no. What we do want to try and develop is people who bought this also bought that, and that. So you get a holistic solution looking at your kind of budget range. But that is phase 4. Cool. No questions? I'd be really happy to talk to anybody and everybody afterwards and get your inputs. Thanks.